Good afternoon and welcome to Boston Asian Radio and TV English Daily News Today. I am your host, Amanda. Here's a look at the top stories making headlines today. Mass bill would ban gas stoves in new construction. Man who tried to hire hitman to kill his wife gets 10 years in prison. Boston City Councilor who employed sister, some admits ethics violation. Heat emergency declared in Boston Thursday and Friday. Massachusetts gun reform bill now on hold until fall. Mass bill would ban gas stoves in new construction. A new bill aimed at improving indoor and outdoor air pollution seeks significant changes to the building code, including eliminating the installation of gas stoves in new construction. Bill 1382, an act to improve outdoor and indoor air quality for communities burdened by pollution, was proposed by State Senator Patricia Gellin, who said what got her to sponsor the bill wasn't the ban on stoves, it was the people who live next to transportation corridors. If passed, the bill could have far-reaching implications for improving air quality and protecting public health, especially for those living in heavily polluted areas. As the bill progresses through the legislative process, stakeholders and the public are closely watching its potential impact and benefits to communities across the state. Man who tried to hire hitman to kill his wife gets 10 years in prison. A Massachusetts man who tried to hire a hitman to kill his wife after she sought a restraining order has been sentenced to 10 years in prison. The sentence for Massimo Marenghi, 57, handed down Monday in federal court in Boston was the maximum possible under sentencing guidelines, federal prosecutors said. Authorities began investigating in January 2021 when someone went to law enforcement and reported that Marenghi had complained about the restraining order and asked for assistance in killing his wife, prosecutors said. Federal investigators directed that person to introduce Marenghi to an undercover agent posing as a contract killer. The Malden man met with the agent in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, discussed a price of $10,000, provided the agent with a photo of his wife's home, and explained how to evade surveillance cameras. Boston City Councilor who employed sister, some admits ethics violation. Boston City Councilor Tanya Fernandez-Anderson admitted to an ethics violation for employing her sister and son on her staff, the State Ethics Commission announced Tuesday. Fernandez-Anderson agreed to pay a $5,000 civil penalty over the conflict of interest, the commission said. Fernandez-Anderson appointed her sister as Director of Constituent Services soon after her election as City Councilor for District 7 in 2021, then bumped her salary up by $5,000 and awarded her a $7,000 bonus in June 2022, according to the Ethics Commission. That month, she hired her son as her office manager, then approved a $18,000 raise for him 15 days later. Earlier this month, Boston City Council President Ed Flynn said that colleagues' recent ethical and legal lapses are drawing negative attention to the body and distracting from the work it's doing. Heat emergency declared in Boston Thursday and Friday. The city of Boston is declaring a heat emergency for Thursday and Friday, where temperatures are expected to rise into the 90s and heat indexes are expected in the mid-90s up to 100 degrees. Cooling centers will open to all residents at locations across the city. There will be 15 Boston Centers for Youth and Families, BCYF, community centers open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. both days. Boston Public Library locations will also be open as a refuge for the heat. The city will also open 64 splash pads at parks and playgrounds. For a map of the splash pads, click here. Certain DCYF pools and the outdoor BCYF Mirabella pool in the north end will be open. Learn more about swim times at Mirabella here and registration for the other pools here. If you see someone who appears disoriented or unable to move, please ask if they need help and call 911. Massachusetts gun reform bill now on hold until fall. Top Massachusetts House Democrats have backed down from their controversial push to approve a 140-page omnibus gun reform measure before lawmakers break for vacation in August. Less than a week after he convened a series of closed-doors meetings to hear from representatives about the sweeping proposal unveiled June 26, House Speaker Ron Mariano told his chamber Monday evening that the new goal is to bring the measure forward in autumn. Mariano said it was necessary to thoroughly evaluate the proposals during the postponement and gather feedback from members of the House of Representatives and voters. Senate Democrats have expressed interest in advancing gun legislation, particularly to address the rise of untraceable ghost guns. While the fate of the bill remains uncertain, the two sides are expected to continue discussions during the transition to address concerns and make possible changes to the proposed legislation. Stay tuned for more updates on Boston news as it develops.